Call of Duty has never really been known for people buying it for its campaign. Really, you buy Call of Duty for the multiplayer or whatever third mode is available, whether that be zombies or spec ops, mostly zombies. Usually the campaign is something that a lot of people, mostly the casual audience, only does once, maybe twice if they really like it. That's pretty much the only reason to go back and play it. But that does not mean that the campaign should be omitted or should have this low effort put into it whatsoever. That's still a third of the experience you're paying for. Even if you don't play it, it still deserves to be of decent quality. So why is it that we're here again?
Why are we still here? Just to suffer? Every night, I can feel...
Now look, I know it can be difficult when you're 7 games into the Black Ops franchise, and I guess in Modern Warfare's case, about 6 games into the franchise, including the reboot. It can be hard to think of new ideas on where to take the story. I get that. So why is it that instead of maybe taking a more moderate approach, maybe playing it more safe, you instead decide to go train go boom?
Train go boom.
Okay, jokes aside though, the Call of Duty campaign has been very much varying in quality. There are some campaigns that are universally praised, some that are universally absent, and some that are in the middle. But usually the campaign is something that people give a quick glance to, unless it's either really good or really bad. Now, of course, not everyone is going to think this, and I don't want this to be an assumption that every single person doesn't like the Black Ops 7 campaign, or that the Black Ops 7 campaign is necessarily universally awful. However, I want to talk about the Call of Duty campaigns as a whole and why I'm making a death of video for the campaigns. Because it's not just the fact that this campaign, to me anyway, is just not enjoyable or good and has poor implementations of any ideas. It's what it symbolizes for the future, for future Call of Duty games. We're going to be getting Modern Warfare 4 next year, and we're going to be getting, I assume, another Black Ops game, and another one after that, and another one after that for the end of time. And what does that say when the campaign is this poor, following an already mixed campaign last year? What does that say for the future of the franchise? Now, that's not to say they can't ever make a decent campaign, okay? That's not to say that the future of the campaigns will always be condemned to being awful, but I don't think there's really much hope for anyone who wants to play a good Call of Duty campaign going forward. I mean, let's look at it this way. Whether you love or hate Modern Warfare 2019, there's no denying that the campaign had love, attention, and detail put into it when going back into the roots of Modern Warfare. It was clear that with that campaign, they really wanted to make something that was memorable, and many people agree. Even though many people hate the multiplayer, most people can say that the campaign was really memorable and really good, and that's why it's really attached to the cover of the game. It's really something that people attach with that game. The campaign is really solid. Following that, we got Cold War. Cold War's campaign was surprisingly good. Even despite its short length, a lot of people would agree that it's actually a really memorable campaign, with Adler being a standout for the character. And while I don't really understand or really like the decision to recast Woods and Mason, and it was quite obvious, a lot of people did meme on the new voice actors for the characters.
I'm a goddamn onion, Mason.
Whether you like them or not, there's no denying that the story Cold War was telling was really strong. And even with the post-story content for multiplayer and the Warzone mode, it was really strong with the story and campaign. So that's what kept it pretty memorable. And again, on the cover of the game, you can see that it's really attached to this idea of Cold War. So following that, the campaigns were still something that people followed and still something that a lot of people attached to the game. And then after that, we got the Vanguard story, where apparently Call of Duty has no memorable characters, so we have to make new ones.
This process saying, how do we make the iconic COD characters? Because we don't really have that in Call of Duty right now. You know, when you think about a game like, I don't know, Halo, and you think of Master Chief or whatever.
Thank you, Sledgehammer, for that one. That will always be remembered as a dark day for the Call of Duty community. But that all said, the Vanguard campaign, not very memorable, not very good. Whatever though, nobody was really expecting Vanguard to bring anything too innovative with its setting. And then Modern Warfare 22 comes out, and you kind of realize, yeah, this campaign is a little underwhelming. It's really not all that. It has some cool characters still, okay, and it's still cinematically beautiful, but it's kind of underwhelming, really. I was expecting a little more. There's not as much risk taken here. But, okay, maybe 23 will introduce something new. Maybe we're going to get a campaign DLC. Maybe there will be something else added onto it. And then we see 23. There's really nothing here to be talking about for the campaign. It's really not good. And on top of that, it's rather even shorter than we expected. As a matter of fact, I would say it's probably on par with Cold War as the shortest campaign in the series, under 3 hours completion time. So now we're seeing again that it's just not taken very seriously at all. And it brings the question of why. It's always been a traditional single-player mode for the franchise. So why is it that it's not just being taken seriously, but it's being forgotten and almost treated as a, we need to have this so that the story makes sense? Why is it not treated any more differently than the other modes? I don't know. So I guess Modern Warfare 3's campaign will just be left to be forgotten forever for the rest of time. Okay, so let's hop back onto Black Ops 6, where we are now following with Black Ops 7. Black Ops 6's campaign is whatever, I suppose. It's pretty average, and what really kills it for me is that it is the first, I believe the first campaign where you have to be online to play it, meaning that you cannot play any of the modes without being online. And this goes even further with Black Ops 7, where you no longer have the ability to pause or save because it is a multiplayer experience. So the campaign is effectively limiting who can play it simply because it wants to be online only. That not only kills the replay value of the campaign itself, but turns off so many players who would have been playing it if they had a better internet connection. If you have a poor internet connection, good luck playing the campaign. It's actually possible to lag in the campaign and lag out and be disconnected and get kicked out simply because you don't have a good internet connection. That really says a lot about how they treat this mode, because now it's up to the internet and it's up to whether the server is up or not for you to even play the campaign. That, I think, is going to be the defining killer of Call of Duty campaigns going forward. If you cannot play because of the internet, or, and inevitably when the servers shut down, you can no longer play the campaign, ever. And that's really saying something as well, because if you go back to the past, you can play any of the campaigns up until Black Ops 6. Going forward with Black Ops 6 and 7, going with those two numbers, you can no longer play the campaigns offline anymore. And when the servers shut down inevitably in the future, you will no longer be able to play them at all. That is a terrible, terrible sign. Now, of course, that does apply to the other modes as well, and of course it sucks. But for the campaign specifically, for the stories, and for any narrative in these games, that completely destroys it, because you can no longer access it, and it's just really just not a good move whatsoever going forward. I really hope that this doesn't remain the case for long, but if it's going to be staying in the future, then the campaigns are essentially just a death sentence. Why bother playing them at all at this point? If they're really just going to have an expiration date, and if you can't even access it because of the internet, then it's really just waiting to die, really. The campaigns are just waiting to die and no longer have any replay value. Not that they had much to begin with, but they told really good stories. And I know a lot of nostalgia back in the day playing the Black Ops 1 campaign, Black Ops 2 campaign, World at War. Playing those campaigns, it brought a lot of good memories, and they were well written and memorable. Now we're here, where not only is it hard to access, if accessible at all for some people, it's just not very memorable and it's just not fun. And it's lacking in many key areas that any narrative should have. Even if you want to say that Call of Duty has never been known for its narrative, which I would disagree with in some ways regarding Black Ops 2, especially that game. To say that it shouldn't have a campaign at all, we already went through this with Black Ops 4. Of course, you did get Blackout, you did get more content to supplement that campaign, and you got side stories to supplement, but it's not the same. It will always be known not having a main story. Even though it does have a story, it will never be known with a story or an identity. Now we're here where the identity is probably going to disappear entirely because there's not going to be a campaign for people to get attached to. The characters are simply going to fade into obscurity. And now they can finally say that they no longer have any memorable characters, and we will get Vanguard 2.
Triangle boom.
Okay, jokes aside though, let me know your thoughts on the Call of Duty campaigns going forward, whether or not you still play them just for the fun, or just to unlock any content, like with the endgame mode, which is unfortunately locked behind the campaign right now, so I will not be touching that mode. Unfortunately, it is locked behind the campaign, and I'm not going to put myself through that torture. What are your thoughts? What do you think about this? Whether you still play the campaign? Do you think the Black Ops 7 campaign is pretty good? Do you think the modern Call of Duties have had better or worse campaigns in the past? Let me know what your favorite campaign is in the comments below. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please hit that like button and subscribe. I could always use a new addition to the Dark Ops army. And of course, I will be looking over and seeing what anyone thinks about the campaigns, because personally, I think that they should still be in the Call of Duty games, but they just need to be good. They just need to have effort put into them, and they need to be offline again and not always online. Fix those things and we can get a good Call of Duty campaign back. We just have to fix it. It will be so easy. But that's all I have to say. This is Dark Ops. I'll see you guys next time.